to about 116,000 acres of mostly citrus groves. And they were built back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and they used that canal to drain their citrus groves in. There are about 31 inflows from the C-44 basin into the canal. So that's the water that's draining off. So to attenuate that flow is the C-44 project you've heard about, the reservoir and the STAs. That's being built, it's under construction, still looking for the second contract for Congress. But if it gets built, it will take out about 2/3 of that flow, at least it's coming in just from the C-44 basin. But to lead in to put that in perspective, from May 8th, when we start all these discharges from the lake, till September 17th, we've had about 183 billion gallons pouring into the St. Lucie through the S80 structure. And 65% of that's from the lake, and about 35% is from the C-44 basin. So that's a lot of water coming in, but it's also a lot of stuff coming in. And particularly in our spillways, it's about 2.2 million pounds of nitrogen and about 330,000 pounds of phosphorus. Remember, nitrogen, phosphorus, not good things. They create algae blooms, so forth. And to put that in perspective, 2.2 million pounds is almost 10 times the 240,000 pounds per year of the total maximum daily load that the state set as the criteria for right here in the St. Lucie estuary. 10 times. We've already received May through September for our total year's total maximum daily load that we're supposed to get. That's for nitrogen, phosphorus, it's about the same, 330,000 compared to 27,000. So it's over 3 times. I mean, it's just over 10 times. It's just very frustrating. But back to somebody's point about the silt sediment, it's really incredible that we've had about 14 million pounds of suspended silt sediment. And you've seen it in the aerial photos that go offshore. They're covering over our nearshore reefs. They're still turning the waters fresh. August 14th, we did the surveys, and we've had those oyster beds, as you've seen, about dropping down. It just looks like a terrible rhythm when you drop that salinity below that 5 parts per thousand. So it's been over 113 days for oysters. They can only tolerate 28, and it's been over 70 or 80 days for seagrass beds. They can only tolerate about 14 days, so below that line. So that's really bad, and our seagrasses are not going to do good offshore. Our water quality testers have been doing this for 15 years, since 1998. We've been doing this weekly. The water quality is not good, but we've added to this recently with the grants for our oyster monitoring. We've added 4 of the Orca units, the Kilroy units, and we've attached hydrolabs to them to measure dissolved oxygen, pH, and temperature, and others. And they have one at Sailfish Point, one at Hell's Gate and Willoughby Creek, and we're putting one up at Palm City Bridge here too shortly. So we have 4, we're going to have 5. And they're online. If you go to the Orca site or to our site, you can get real-time information, and that's what Orca's been all about, is to try to get real-time information. So we're partnered with them on this grant. We're putting in those units to measure that real time and get some of that runoff floated. And the last thing is I want to, that muck and mud in the lake. And then you've seen the graphs. I pulled up that. I should bring jars of this. Remember when Greg used to bring jars of this?
Yeah, but that wasn't only muck.
Muck and you see jugs, jugs of algae too, and recently. But this muck and silt sediment, there's over probably 12 million cubic yards of this stuff on the bottom of the St. Lucie, and it's about as thick as this room. And I've dove in it, and it's very flocculent, and it gets denser and denser as you get to the bottom, but it's the consistency when you scoop some up of black mayonnaise. It's very slick and slimy, anaerobic, no oxygen.